Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Give some props to the Battle of Florida and why this is a series that people shouldn't turn away from.
I get it. Listen, I've done Battles of Alberta, and worked those games and been at those games and felt that intensity. I'm going to tune in tomorrow night too, for sure. I get it. But it's funny how, we as Canadians sometimes look at Florida and go, well, isn't it kind of like a novelty down there? Keep thinking that if you like, but it's not. I mean, the Tampa Bay Lightning are 3-time Stanley Cup champions. They've got 3 of them, and including back-to-back. And they are a very good team and have been for a good period of better part of 10 years now. And the Florida Panthers are a fast, entertaining, deep team. They've added some guys this year in Sam Reinhart, Ben Sherratt, Sergei Bobrovsky, who got chased from the series last year, has been much better, tied for the league leading wins with a guy at the other end of the ice, and Andrei Vasilevsky. There's a lot of big guys in this series that love to get involved physically, and Radko Gudas and Ryan Lomberg, a guy who used to play for the Flames, and of course on the other side, Eric Chernak and Pat Maroon and Corey Perry. So they're going to bring the heavy to this series, and then of course you got all kinds of stars that love to shoot the lights out. Jonathan Huberdeau tied for second in the league in points with 115, led the league in assists. Barkov, who probably could have been close to his totals had he not been hurt. Carter Verhaeghe, who is right now second in playoff scoring with 12 points in a 6-game series against Washington, a former member of the Lightning. There's all kinds of storylines. And bottom line is these are just 2 good teams. And, if you turn your nose up because you think this is the state of Florida, then you're missing out.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
Number 99, Wayne Gretzky, has chosen the Calgary Flame to win the series against the Edmonton. Did I see that right, or was I dreaming it again?
Did you see the Oilers Twitter account? What
they say
was the Oilers tweeted, "Ouch, Wayne," because he picked the Flames. I couldn't believe it.
Love Wayne Gretzky, no doubt. But I feel like somebody's putting Wayne up to these things.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the RP Show. Yes, sir. It is a very big day. Let me get the breaking news bell out, even though we don't have breaking news. It is the opening night. The curtain rises on round 2 of the Stanley Cup Playoffs for 2 other series. It rose last night and then quickly closed here in South Florida for the Florida Panthers. I see everybody is chiming in with their thoughts on that. Listen, they're not my Panthers, all right? Let's just get that out of the way right now. But it's a big day. Episode number 759 of your favorite daytime sports and entertainment talk show coming at you from South Florida. And in the NHL's Bermuda Triangle, we welcome to the program the co-host, the owner, the president of the RP Show and DuPont Media, Darren Moose DuPont. Good day, Moose. I'm going to tell you, you probably already know, though, that Mike Richards from Saga 960 Radio, Mississauga, coming on. Mike Richards to talk all things Stanley Cup playoffs, a little Blue Jays, probably some CFL strike, and Sportsnet's Arash Madani never disappoints. He will be joining us coming up in hour 2 to talk Blue Jays, CFL strike, and all the rest. But, Moose, how was your last 22 hours? Because I got a lot to say. You go ahead and go with your preamble, and I'm just going to go.
No, it's great. I mean, the last 22 was great. It was awesome to get the Stanley Cup playoffs back on. Spent a lot of time watching that last night. And with the Mike Richards thing, because he was so ingrained in the Calgary market. Was he on the air in the morning show, the last Battle of Alberta? Was he?
Open up your Twitter today, dude. Well, back then, no. Exactly. But if people are like, Mike Richards, we really miss you in Calgary. Oh, Mike. And dude, I get it. Believe me, I get it. I'm not sure Mike could pull a lot of what he did then now. But, yeah, he was elbows deep in this. So
I would want to know what, and maybe you can ask him this, what sorts of things would he be doing today and over the last few days to gnaw and poke at people in Edmonton? Because it would be legendary.
He's playing old radio bits already. Yes, absolutely. And by the way, I think the reason everybody's so punchy and not punchy, but just giddy is because I got a new camera. You see that? We got a new camera. Jordan even participated in our pre-show hijinks today, chiming in with his things. And I was just saying, before we get into all the stuff that I want to talk about, because it is a sports show, but it's also an entertainment show, and that's kind of what we do here. I'm kind of lost when it comes to technology until I'm forced to do it. But Jordan sent me a link for what camera to go buy yesterday, and I did that after the show, set it up this morning, and I was telling you people, because we do have a Don Cherry reference coming up, I was telling you people earlier on that when I traveled all over North America doing my radio show, that I needed a plain old telephone system line, a POTS line, an analog line. And I did that show, my radio show, following the Rough Rider camps and sports trips to San Diego and Bradenton, Florida, and Dallas, Texas, and New York, Manhattan. And I always did it from a Hooters because I always knew they had an analog POTS line. And I strung it from the kitchen out to the front. Usually it was the fax line. But as I said, people thought I just went for the for the wings. No, it was because I always knew they'd have the right equipment. But if you know what I mean. And now I kind of got lost along the way with technology. But thanks to Jordan, we're all set up. He told me where to go and how to get there. And the show looks great from what I can tell. So anyways, that's the preamble. And can we hit the quick stick show horn, please, Director? I'm going to tell a quick story. And yes, I am putting off a little bit why the Panthers lost last night, although I know why they did. But it's George Strait's 70th birthday today. So for the seniors that are watching, I got a couple stories for you. But he's 70 today, the king of country, George Strait. He's not the king of the Cowboys. That's Roy Rogers. But the king of country music, George Strait, turned 70 today. I met him in 2010 at Craven, Saskatchewan, at the Country Jamboree, and the owners of Craven, who incidentally is my lawyer, but they're like, Rod, we know how big a George Strait fan you are. We're going to give you the opportunity to meet George. And I did. Go to my Twitter, go to my Instagram today. You'll see it. But the thing was, I had my daughter with me, and that was at the peak of Hannah, Montana. Do you know who opened for George Strait that Sunday at the Craven Country Fest? First, the Yellowstone guy. Who's John Dutton? This is how bad of a singer he was. Kevin Costner. He was awful. He wasn't very good. But at least I was around him, and that was cool. But then we were backstage. And then Billy Ray Cyrus was next. And he goes whistling to play his one hit, Achy Breaky Heart. And then he goes whizzing by in a golf cart. And my daughter's like, Dad, Dad, Dad. I'm like, what? It's Hannah Montana's dad. That's Billy Ray Cyrus. Chill. We're not here for those guys. We're here for the king of country, George Strait. And then he did not disappoint. I sat on the stage. I'm sure you've seen the photos. Met him. And I said to Craven, I can die now, and I never need to come back. Thank you so much. It's me meeting my idol, George Strait. So happy 70th, George. And now we move on to point two. Pierre-Edouard Bellemare scored the go-ahead goal early in the third period. Andrei Vasilevsky remained red-hot with 34 saves, and the Tampa Bay Lightning topped the Florida Panthers 4-1 in Game 1 of their Round 2 series. Nikita Kucherov and Corey Perry also each had a goal and an assist, and Ross Colton scored for Tampa, who had 3 power play goals. I think the Panthers are something like 0 for 21 on the power play in the playoff. Game 2 Thursday in Sunrise. Listen, you might want to go. For those that have written in already, what happened to the Panthers? Go read my commentary every day. You read it first thing in the morning at rodpedersen.com or listen on Cat Country 98 or Rock 98.5. I knew in warm-up that the Panthers were in a lot of trouble in this series because I was down at ice level. And I'm looking at these Lightning players going around, these gray beards, and I'm like, these are men. Okay? These are men. And they have names like Alex and Victor and Stephen and Patrick. And I look at their helmets are off, so you can really see them, right? You can see the gray in their beard. And I looked down at the other end of the ice at the Panthers, and while they were the number 1 team in the regular season, they're boys. Their names are Mackenzie and Mason and Carter and 2 guys named Sam. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, guys, you're in for a fight here. And while people are really trolling me saying, oh, I thought the Lightning lost their hunger, It ain't over yet. It's one game. And Billy Lindsay was saying on the postgame show as I was driving home, I was listening on the radio, 560 WQAM. Bill Lindsay saying, well, we went down one game tonight against Washington, came back and won. And that's true. And Andrew Brunette, they carried his postgame news conference, and he said, we learned a lesson tonight. He goes, every little mistake we made, they put in our net. They don't make those mistakes, Tampa Bay. They don't make them. So, Darren, the question is how fast can the Panthers learn this lesson? Because they're not facing Washington this time around. They're facing Tampa. I said it would go 7. I'm staying Florida in 7. But Tampa drew first. Your thought?
Yeah. Well, we've seen it, and we saw it last round. We saw it last spring. Tampa Bay is the class of the NHL until somebody proves to us that they're not. And you're not going to prove that in the regular season. You got to prove it in the playoffs. And you talked about it. They just don't make mistakes. They'll let you control play. And we thought, Florida controlled a lot of that game, dominated at times in the game. But Tampa was just cool, calm, never let them to get the real grade A chance right to the middle of the net, and just, took advantage of their opportunities. And when they had opportunities, they made the Panthers pay. That's how good they are. Don't make a lot of mistakes, and they capitalize.
By the way, tell your friends, start spreading the news. We're live on YouTube with the show, but also across North America on the Game Plus TV network, which we have some big news coming up in the form of a news release we're going to be releasing before long on that. We're adding to the program. It's fantastic. They just can't get enough of us, Moose. So we're on Game Plus TV across all 10 provinces and 31 states in the USA, including TDS cable here in Florida. But what the new viewers need to know is I don't go to the game to watch the game. I can watch the game at home. I go to the game to see people. And I'm sure the seniors that are watching right now, the blue hairs at home that are watching on cable or in their seniors complex, they're probably not going to our Instagram story at The Rod Pedersen Show. If they did, they would see Phil Esposito before the game, where I took a picture of him in the the VIP room. Just like I do at the Pats games, but now I do it at the Panthers and Flames games. And Espo was there. And I'll be honest with you, Moose, well before your time. Shoot, he was almost before my time. I wouldn't have known it was him. Only because his hair is whiter than snow, got the goatee going, tinted glasses. It didn't look like the Espo that I know that took the spill before the national anthem of the Canada Cup game, where on the carpet against the Soviets, with the big chops and everything. But it was cool to see Espo. And the guy that I was sitting across from, I was telling you this guy works on the Bally, or one of the TV crews, maybe whoever was carrying the game last night, I'm not sure. ESPN or something. He's like, that guy, he's telling all the younger kids at the table, he's like me. He goes, when I was growing up in Boston, he was the man. He was the man. Phil Esposito, this is the guy. God, that guy right there. I wouldn't known it was him if that guy hadn't said it, right? So, yeah, and Espo does the color commentary for the Lightning games. So he was there to broadcast the game, which was cool. So Phil Esposito was there, and his team's up 1-0. And then I had a tremendous visit with Dave Randorf, old Rambo. And isn't it interesting that he was on our program yesterday, the day of the game, the Lightning broadcaster, play-by-play guy, and then I ran into him last night. He sends his regards again, and he's doing. We going to move on?
Awesome. No, it's great. I mean, that's why you go to the games. And as long as you keep going and bringing the stories back to the show, it's great.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Well, I told you I had a lot to say. I will get to the as much of the viewer comments as I can in a moment. I'll say hello to all of our new Florida listeners, by the way. Give us a like on Twitter and our social. Give us a follow. Rod Pedersen Show on Twitter, Instagram. Tell your friends we're live on YouTube as well. Oh, there was another hockey game last night. I came home and watched the end of this. Josh Manson's goal at 8:02 of the first overtime period gave the Colorado Avalanche an exciting 3-2 win against the St. Louis Blues in Game 1 of their second-round series. Trailing 2-1 with under 4 minutes to go in the third, the visiting Blues got a goal from Jordan Kyrou to force the overtime. Game 2's Thursday in Denver. All I'll say about that series is this. Bernie Nichols is saying, watch out for the Blues. Carly Simmers saying, watch out for the Blues. And last night, yeah, the Avs had to watch out for the Blues. But you can't run with the big dogs like that over a 7-game series. That's what's beautiful about hockey and basketball and baseball. The better team will always win. Always win. a best-of-7 series. You must agree with that. Darren, you've been around sports a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's instances where teams sneak up on you, but no, I mean, that's why you have a 7-game series. And more often than not, the better team will win the series. And, you just look at how the game went last night, Rod. I mean, it goes to overtime. And yes, St. Louis scored first after being hemmed in their own zone for most of that period. And then they score, and then they're hemmed in and Colorado scores, and then in overtime, St. Louis didn't get a shot on goal. I think the shots were 13-0 for Colorado in overtime, and they eventually won the game. It's tough. I mean, they've got the experience. Maybe St. Louis will see this now and maybe to be able to devise a game plan to play with Colorado. But the Avs are so dominant; they're so good.
Colorado's. Listen, I know you're all hanging on the edge of your seats for Battle of Alberta talk, Game 1 tonight. That's coming up. But first, we're live on location next week at the Centennial Cup, presented by Tim Hortons in Estevan, Saskatchewan. A 10-team tournament begins tomorrow, with the host Estevan Bruins welcoming the champions of the 9 CJHL leagues. For more information on the 2022 Centennial Cup, presented by Tim Hortons, visit hockeycanada.ca, which I did today. Full schedule is right there. Or follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. My third point is Don Cherry appeared on a podcast. We all love Don Cherry, but he said that he and Ron MacLean will never be friends. And that saddened me a little bit. I didn't go listen to the podcast. I don't need to listen to the podcast. I saw the headline. Don Cherry says Ron MacLean and I will never be friends. I don't know how long has it been, 3 years since Cherry got fired by Sportsnet for his non-inclusive comments about immigrants not wearing poppies. And listen, this was one of the things that I got in a huge fight with Daryl Sutter about at that sports banquet in Paradise Hill. He says, Sutter says, Don Cherry should be able to say whatever he wants for the rest of his life. No consequences because he's Don Cherry and he's paid his dues. And do you think maybe Daryl Sutter might be a guy that's not necessarily open-minded? And maybe not quite getting with the times. At least that's the Daryl that I know. They say there's two sides to him, but I've only seen one. And I like him. You can't exclude a segment of population. You can't do that anymore. You just can't. And as much as I love Don Cherry, I really do, and I miss him. These Canadian NHL panels don't have the chutzpah without great. The second I saw that clip, I knew that he was going to be fired. The second I saw it, I knew. And I feel bad for Ron MacLean because what's Ron supposed to do? Don Cherry won't apologize, won't acknowledge he did anything wrong. What is Ron supposed to do? Quit? A $500,000 a year job? What's MacLean supposed to do? So that's taken a little bit of a spin of what most people wouldn't expect that I would say. I wouldn't think, because I'm a right-wing, old school. You'd think I would support Cherry, but I don't think he was in the right. So he hasn't changed.
No,
What do you think?
he hasn't. I think he's okay with it. I'm with you. Like it breaks your heart to see that Don Cherry doesn't think that they'll ever be friends again. And he talked about how great the relationship was. I've read Don's book. I've read books. I've read Ron's book. You see that, and maybe one of, if not the greatest duo that we've seen, right? In my lifetime, one of the greatest duos. I mean, we grew up with these guys, and they were in our homes every Saturday. They were the soundtrack to hockey, and we loved them, and we miss them for sure. But you're right, like you just can't do that today, and you have to understand that it's just not acceptable. And you can argue as to why and where the world is going and things like that, but you have to accept where we are, and yeah, it's just sad.
David Ice, watching in Winnipeg, says Ron MacLean saved his backside. Yeah, and you would too. Think about what would you do in that situation? Would you quit a $500,000 a year job that is your career over Don, who won't apologize even though he was in the wrong? Jeff, the Stamps fan, said Ron is stuck between a rock and a hard place, but he has to look out for himself. That's the key. Honestly, I'll say it. Oh, we're overtime. God shot telling me not to say what I was going to say. We'll be back and look ahead to a Battle of Alberta tonight. We've got Leafs saying everybody's coming back. Blue Jays are on a roll again. Lots to get to. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network. YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
RP Show continues from gorgeous South Florida. Day off between games. Panthers falling 4-1 at home to Tampa Tuesday night. Game 2 goes Thursday. Don't mind me. I'm sorry. I was just tweeting the poll. And Moose, I might need to get you to talk for a minute about these candidates as we bring in Darren Moose Dupont. I'll read the Wire copy here. Breaking news on this Wednesday. That's what we love about daytime sports talk. We can do this kind of thing. We're not rerunning old episodes of Sports Center this time of day. Winnipeg Jets winger Kyle Connor is one of 3 finalists for the National Hockey League's Lady Byng Memorial Trophy. The award is presented annually to the player best combining sportsmanship, gentlemanly conduct, and ability. Carolina Hurricanes defenseman Jacob Slavin and Minnesota Wild defenseman Jared Spurgeon are the other 2 finalists. In leading the Jets in scoring with 93 points, Connor established career highs for goals and assists, 47 goals, 46. And he did so while receiving just 4 penalty minutes in 79 games. And he doesn't back check. In a sense, I just put this in here. 100% of respondents are voting for Kyle Connor to win the Lady Byng Trophy. Now, I could talk for 2 hours about this trophy. When we were little kids playing the game, Gretzky was winning it every year for the most part. But we'd go, you didn't want to win the most sportsmanlike because it meant that you didn't get your nose dirty. You didn't stick your face in there. Wayne's getting 5 points a game. He doesn't need to. But we used to sort of snicker at the Lady Byng winner. And we're sort of like, most sportsmanlike player? What does that even mean? But we were kids. Not till you get a little older and realize, oh, you're supposed to play with class and dignity and respect for your opponent. What? We just didn't grow up that way. Is that how you feel what the award is?
Yeah, it was always, the most gentlemanly player. And, you read the description, combining the skill and the play. So it shouldn't just go to the player in the league with the least amount of penalty minutes, because there's a lot of guys, I'm sure, that have 0 penalty minutes, but that only played in 10, 15, 20 games, right? Or, half a season at most. I think it's got to go to somebody at the high end. Kyle Connor's a great, deserving player of it. He put up a lot of points. So he clearly shows he's involved. He's playing significant minutes, but he's not taking penalties. Just the 4 penalty minutes. And look, this isn't the Selkies, so this isn't about back checking. It's about can he play the game and play it clean? And you kind of like, I kind of like some of these players now, but at the time you're like, the guy is just whoever's the softest player who doesn't take any penalties, who doesn't really get involved. That's not really what the award's about now.
4 penalty minutes in 79 games. I watched the Jets. Of course he's not taking penalties. He doesn't hit anybody. It reminds me of a Rough Rider game we were doing when I was doing the play-by-play back in the day, and Riders got their butts handed to them, and I said to Danny Barrett after the game, our head coach, hey, DB, any injuries to speak of after the game? He's like, injuries? You got to hit somebody to get hurt. That was from Danny Barrett, who's now the running backs coach of the Houston Texans of the National Football League. Alan Miller is watching in Yorkton, Saskatchewan, not the other Alan Miller that we know from Hockey Canada. Alan Miller watching in Yorkton, Saskatchewan. He texts in on the 902 line and he says, a topic for your next show, why doesn't TSN televise any of the playoffs? It's all Sportsnet and CBC. What are they wasting all their money on commentators and panels for? Pretty sad. Well, it's called contracts. It's called contract. Sportsnet and CBC have the contract. TSN doesn't. End of story. That was an easy one, Darren. I didn't even need you for that. And that reminds me, Dave Randorf last night in the press box asked me about doing the show from Florida, doing the show from Calgary. He says, how do the Saskatchewan people deal with the fact that you're not talking about the Riders all the time? You're talking about the Flames and the Oilers and the Dolphins. He goes, I watch. Randorf said that. And I said, Rambo, I've been on the air in the province of Saskatchewan for over 30 years. People know what they're getting with me. Our highest region for viewership is Saskatchewan, okay? They ain't leaving. They're tuning in every day to see what the hell is the next thing to come out of my mouth. And as the born and bred Sasky that I am, as are you, Darren, being from the chicken capital of Wynyard, Saskatchewan, we know this. We have one team. We have one team, and they're on strike right now. So we're used to growing up and watching NHL coverage and MLB coverage and now NFL coverage. They're used to it. Grant Scrimbit watching in Kelowna, BC on Game Plus TV, where they carry us on the TELUS Optic cable carrier out there in British Columbia. He says, regarding the news that Mitch Marner was carjacked and lost his Range Rover, had it stolen the other night, he says, I'm sorry, Mitch Marner. It's funny how you're on the news when there was 60 other carjackings. Poor guy. I could tell the hint of sarcasm in what he said there. It's what's part and parcel of being a public person, Mr. Scrimbit. Try it for one day. I think you'd have a different perspective on it. That's all I can say about it. I'm not going to rant. I mean, the guy had his Range Rover stolen at gunpoint. And you're saying that he is somehow special because it was on the news and not all the other carjackings? You got to check yourself, man. Do you have a take on that before I move on?
It's celebrity versus somebody else. It's not about the carjacking or about the crime. It's about who the crime happened to. You know, a lot of people have dinner, okay? But when two presidents have dinner together, it's news. So it's all about the people, and that's just, it's the way the world's always worked.
Mitch Marner didn't ask to lead the CTV Toronto News with his Range Rover being stolen the night before. He didn't ask for that. Goes with the job. And it sucks a lot of times. It can be good, too. By the way, Rod's rant, if there was one, brought to you by Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, the preferred plumbing, heating, and cooling company, the RP Show. Tell Cam we were talking about him. Find everything you need to know about our services, financing, product information, and more at broncoplumbing.com. I'm going to slip in right now the obligatory CFL strike talk before I move on to the Battle of Alberta. I was talking to a CFL legend who's watching this show right now. He watches it every day on Rogers Cable in Toronto. Oops. Hope I didn't out him. But he's negotiated many contracts in his day. And he said, Rod, I don't think either side knows what they're doing. He's like, I don't think the owners and the executives know. And I don't think the Players Association knows. I don't think they know what they're doing. But the one thing we did agree on is that the owners likely didn't expect the players to walk out because they really never have. Certainly not in a couple of generations. So the owners are kind of sitting back just going, plotting their next move because something happened that they didn't calculate or predict. And that was the players walking out on strike. And then furthermore, the longer the strike goes, guys are just retiring rather than giving in to the owners. That's new, too. And we sit here today and still don't have any word on whether or not there will be a football game played at Saskatchewan's Mosaic Stadium Monday at 3. As we sit here right now, we've alerted our people to tell us if it happens, but we haven't heard whether it's up or down, whether they're going to end this strike or not. Do you have a take before I move on to the Battle of Alberta?
It's just, it sucks. And I think this is unfamiliar territory for both sides. Owners maybe didn't think the players would walk. The players never expected to be in this situation. You know, now they're getting fans to help, show their support, and they're picketing outside stadiums. And it feels like it's getting worse. And we all thought it might get better at this juncture. So I don't know where it's going to go.
This is hilarious that the Alberta viewers, which I told Rambo last night, our viewership in Alberta has skyrocketed. What a shock. They're trying to tell me how it goes in Saskatchewan. John Kirby writing in, he says, you got a few teams in Saskatchewan, CFL, CEBL, CPL, and NLL. Rod from BW in Edmonton in the chat. Rod, the Saskatchewan Rush, the other team, has more championships than the Rough Riders. Boys, don't tell me how it goes in Saskatchewan. Shove it, I'll politely say. Because they're not talking about the Saskatchewan Rattlers at coffee this morning. I can tell you, they're not talking about the Rush missing the playoffs at coffee this morning at the Wynyard Co-op. They talk about one team. One. The Saskatchewan Roughriders. I love the Rush. I love the Rattlers. I love all these other teams. They ain't talking about it. Moving on, Moose. These guys are going to tell me the sports landscape in Saskatchewan. Thank you, guys. You just sit back and watch. I'll do the talk. Which reminds me, we moved to point 4. It has been hyped for days, and tonight the Battle of Alberta, Open Calgary, as the Flames host the rival Edmonton Oilers in Game 1 of their first Stanley Cup playoff series in 31 years. Players on both clubs are thrilled with the prospect of advancing to the Final Four and becoming Canada's team for the duration of the playoffs. And I'll stop right there. I'm loving all of the coverage, the mayor's bets. We talked about it yesterday. They talked to the owner of the bar, Red Deer, where they draw the line down the middle. Daryl Sutter's come out, and I don't know what Daryl was getting at where he said, why are they making such a big deal out of the Battle of Alberta? It's just 2 teams. Just going to be good hockey. We've been through COVID. We've been through the oil and gas problems and ag, and now we got something to feel good about. The energy is good, but it's just 2 teams. Come on, Daryl. Maybe they're just trying to quell the... There's like, did you see what was on Twitter the other day about the guy that got pushed down the stairs at the Flames game? Did you see that? They're trying to find the 2 culprits to push the guy down the stairs. Now, I think it was two Flames fans from what I saw that pushed another Flames fan down the stairs. But it's like they're getting it going, Moose. What was your take on that? It's a very distasteful situation, but this is going to happen, whether you like it or not.
I know it is. I hate seeing it. But, this is an emotional time for fans. They're nervous. You wake up in those communities nervous today and anxious. And some people are taking the day off. And when the emotions run that high, things happen. You get frustrated. Things lose when your team loses, or when your team wins, you celebrate a little bit too much. We see it all the time. Some places riot. Some places, you see fights in the stands. I'm not saying it's good or it's what we want, but it's going to happen. And geez, just pray for the people in Alberta, because that whole province is going to be lit on fire here.
Jeff, the Stamps fan, says Daryl promotes Alberta unity. I like that. I didn't see the news conference. I heard about it, and I read the quotes, but I didn't see, because again, I'm living in America, where right now, whether you like it or not, the NFL has taken a breather, a brief pause. It's that small little window between the draft and the start of OTAs, where there's not much going on in the National Football League, but it coincides with the NBA playoffs. And incidentally, I was saying this to Moose before we went to air. Oh, and we got a break here and bring in Mike Richards next, but the most watched first round in the Stanley Cup playoff history was this last one. The most watched first round ever. No coincidence that the games were on ESPN and TNT, obviously, but the NBA is still beating them. I will see you back in hour 2. We'll continue more of this fun. What do you say?
Awesome. You betcha.
Nobody can wait to hear from our next guy, Mike Richards from Saga 960, Calgary radio legend and legendary thorn in the butt of Edmonton fans. Mike Richards joins us next. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, live on YouTube, and always downloadable wherever you enjoy your favorite podcasts, including Apple, Stitcher, and
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Game day in Cowtown. Flames Oilers Game 1 getting after it tonight at 7:30 Mountain. By the way, RP Show brought to you in part by Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions, specializing in improving your company's performance and bottom line through supply chain management services. Check them out, Rockstar Supply Chain Solutions. Everybody's jacked up about this series and Game 1 tonight, and everybody wants to know the opinion of this guy, Mike Richards, the Calgary radio legend, Saga 960 Mississauga, joining us today. Hey, Mike, I guess I know who you're cheering for. 3 words, brother. Battle of Alberta. Go. And we lost them. Oh, boy. It's like the most hype that I've built up for an interview in weeks, months probably, and then that. Hit refresh, Mike. So should I jump into a sports update or should I continue with Mike Richards? Tell me what I should do. And then David Ice in Winnipeg writes in and says, Rod and Moose look great. Channel 58 in HD on Game Plus Network. Everything was going so nice. Even got the new camera today, and then that. I'll do this quickly. The Toronto Blue Jays will look to sweep the Seattle Mariners tonight when the Major League Baseball squads meet at Rogers Center. George Springer had a bases-clearing triple in the second inning Tuesday night, and the Blue Jays held on for a 3-0 win. Kevin Gausman will pitch for Toronto tonight, while Seattle will counter with Marco Gonzalez. 7:07 first pitch Eastern at Rogers Center. Jimmy Butler scored 41 points, and the Miami Heat turned things around with a huge third quarter, on the way to beating the shorthanded Boston Celtics 118-107 in Game 1 of the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals last night. The Golden State Warriors will face the Dallas Mavericks in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals tonight. The Orlando Magic won the NBA Draft Lottery Tuesday night and landed the number 1 overall pick for the first time since they took Dwight Howard back in 2004. It's the 4th time lottery luck struck for the Magic, who won in back-to-back years in 92 and 93, taking Shaquille O'Neal and then trading the rights to Chris Webber for Penny Hardaway. Oklahoma City got the second pick last night, followed by Houston and then Sacramento. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room. Check out our brand new line of games for the Tab Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store, and for Red Bull Canada. Red Bull gives you wings. I'm telling you, I could sit here and keep talking all day, guys. I got a lot of stuff lined up and ready to go. So I can do it. Okay, I'm going to do my junior hockey thing, and then we're going to take a break and come back with Mike Richards. Thanks to a 5-3 victory last night at Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Portland, the Seattle Thunderbirds are moving on to the WHL Western Conference Final. Jeremy Hansel scored twice for the Thunderbirds, with singles added by Nico Mijatovic, Lucas Siona, Lucas Zaykovsky, and Reed Schaefer. For Portland, Robbie from Delorme scored twice. Jaden DeRoe, son of my good friends, the DeRoes, had the other Portland goal. The Edmonton Oil Kings traveled to Winnipeg in the Eastern Final to face the Ice in Game 1. We're going to have Matthew Savoy, the Winnipeg Ice, on the air tomorrow to preview that series, Edmonton, Winnipeg. And out west, it's now Seattle up against Hamlet. Ryan and Jada DeRoe, by the way, Ryan and Nora are Jaden's parents. By the way, the Rod Pedersen Show will be live on location next week to kick off the 2022 Centennial Cup, presented by Tim Hortons, hosted by the city of Estevan, Saskatchewan, and the Estevan Bruins. This is a sold-out tournament, and we can't wait to be a part of all the action. Stay tuned for tournament updates and catch the game live streams at hockeycanada.ca. That's all the news that's fit to print. When we come back, hopefully, Mike Richards and his Flames jersey from Saga 960. Game 1 of the BOA goes tonight. We'll tee it up with Mike Richards next. You're watching on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio as always at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM-certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Game day in Calgary. Game 1 tonight at that place. You're looking live at the Saddle Dome. Flames and Oilers. Game 1 tonight on the CBC and Sportsnet. This segment brought to you by Taco Time. Canadians love local. Go loco. Eat local. Taco Time uses fresh ingredients sourced in Canada. Our beef, chicken, cheddar cheese, sour cream, and Mexi fries are all made in Canada. Go get you some today. Okay. story for making everybody wait, including you, Mike Richards. Let's get him in here, and I'm going to say it again. Battle of Alberta, man, go.
Well, it's been too long, and let's face it. I mean, there are times where, when it comes to, if someone said Stanley Cup or beating Edmonton, I think I know which one they might just take, because it's so good. It's so good to take those people out. I know. Did I say those? Those people, eh? I know people get mad and everything like that. Eh? I'll just tell you right now, they go up north, they picking their berries and all that. I'm just saying. No, I think this is going to be great theater. Not every series, I mean, as good as it can be, is going to be set up that way. I mean, I'm sure St. Louis and Colorado have their fans, and they're called family. So I know in this area, like, it's so bad here. I mean, after the Leafs bowed out again, the viewing habit of the GTA, it will be like zeros, except for the Battle of Alberta. So let's hope they get out there. They make it a track meet. I certainly like Calgary's chances in this one, even though it was pretty tight throughout the year. But I have a feeling that what we saw in the Dallas series and Edinger standing on his head, I mean, that was just an unbelievable performance. They won't be getting that. So if we grade from the back end out, if we're looking at this series, then already Markstrom gets a check mark, and I like the Flames already.
How much fun would you have had on the radio with this? Or you still can. Wayne. No, I'm not done. Wayne Gretzky has chosen the Flames to win the series.
Oh, really? Wayner. Wow, that's pretty big. But wasn't his wife who gambles? Didn't Janet? Doesn't she put a lot of money? Anyway, so good for you, Wayne. And just do what Janet says, and you got to have even more money. But I absolutely see every opportunity for a Flames team that, I mean, they didn't play that when I was there. This was not the style. I mean, look, when Daryl came back, all I heard was all the stuff about him being a dinosaur, a troglodyte, how they're going to, they can't play the way they did with Los Angeles, where they slow it down and make the other team feel like they're playing in sand. Well, he didn't do that. They said Johnny Gaudreau would not flourish under Daryl Sutter. I got news for people. Daryl's IQ, Daryl is off the charts. Daryl's a really smart guy, and he doesn't have to say much because he knows much. And when you look at what he has done, this is all Daryl. I mean, why do you think that for the last, I'd say probably at least 2, maybe 3 years, I've compared very often the Leafs in Calgary because of style of play, because they want to play with pace, because they want to make it a track meet. But what is the one difference that has happened in the last 48 months? It's the coach. That coaching matters. We used to talk about it all the time with Pierre Maguire, that it is the thing that sometimes just doesn't get under the microscope enough. I mean, obviously it's sexier to look at guys who put the puck in the net, and when you watch what Johnny Hockey does. But as I said, that picture at the end of the game with Daryl and Johnny, it said it all to me. And there's a way that this man communicates the game of hockey. He is a lifer. He's going to get it done. He'll find a way. And I see that there's really no ceiling for this team. Obviously, Colorado's a really, really good hockey team. But there's nothing that I think necessarily eliminates Calgary from saying that they can go as far as they want, because I don't think there is one.
I've said Flames in 6. Have you narrowed? Obviously, you think Calgary will win. Have you narrowed it down to how many games?
Yeah, I was talking to my buddy Bruce Dobigan, who thought it might go 7. I don't think it goes 7. I really don't. I think, again, not to pick on Edmonton, but to pick on Edmonton, the goaltending has been just such an Achilles heel for this team for so many years. Look, I know they get a lot of high flyers in there, and for years they literally had the choice of the best 119 hockey players in the world. Every junior player was certainly going there, and they still have not somehow figured out that they need to stop the pucks from going in, and I don't think they're going to do it in this series. I think it's going to be, quite frankly, an easier series for Calgary. Not that it's going to be easy, but I think guys are going to show up. Mangiapane's going to show up. I think Lindholm's going to show up. More of Tkachuk, and Johnny's not going to slow down. And this is Markstrom's the difference maker. And I think at the end of the day, this thing is over in 6. And people are going out to the Red Mile, and they're taking the tarps off, and who knows what can happen there. God, I wish I was there. Please.
I know. Hey, Jack in Vulcan, Alberta says, interesting that all of a sudden the mayor of Calgary is a Flames fan, when she all along was with Mayor Nenshi, said of the new arena, why would we build a multi-million-dollar arena for millionaire hockey players? Do you think if the Flames go far, it'll help the new arena concept or idea, do you think?
You know what? Because I'm not there, I'm only guessing on what people say, and I'm, super disappointed to where it is at this point. As much as I see, people not wanting municipal dollars that could be doing good for people at all levels. That's not an athletic endeavor. I understand that kind of pain. I'm not that kind of Neanderthal, but I also realize what emotionally the Calgary Flames mean to that city. I understand the jobs that are made available and just the thing that runs the heart of the city. And the Calgary Flames are that. Sure, it's a big Stamps team as well. I won't deny that. But the Calgary Flames really are fundamental to, I think, almost the health of the city in a lot of different ways. There obviously has to be a fairness to it, but to speak to it like I really know the details of it, I'd be lying, and I'm not doing that. But I would say that the thought of a Flames organization not being in Calgary would be catastrophic to me, and a huge mistake, a big mistake.
We both have the Flames to win, but let's have a little more fun with what the viewers want, and that is some classic Mike Richards stuff. Let's just imagine that Steve Armitage is hosting the broadcast tonight, Game 1 on CBC. How would that go, Mike?
Oh, thanks, Mark. It's going to be a great series as the Calgary Flames, a fabulous city, up against Edmonton. Edmonton! Germs! Disease! Prostitution! Unwanted pregnancies! Dirty tractors! White mud! Traffic circles with stoplights! And don't forget, Mark, sweatpants with good shoes. There's a Ginla. He could go.
How about that?
Can you throw the mall in there, too? Would you mention the mall, please?
West Edmonton Mall. Crappy submarines. Condoms at the bottom of a pool. Needles.
Dirty diapers.
Kind of what,
I'm using your terminology.
Man. Don't bring the hate on Rod. This is all on this end, folks. Be mad at this guy.
Oh, you remember that? You ripped Edmonton and the Oilers one of those times, and the Oilers called me. I'm like, I didn't say it. I really don't care. I really don't care.
And there's one other thing there is one other thing I am nervous about. It's the CFL talks and the CBA and the thought of maybe there being a strike, which is something in my lifetime I never thought I would see, simply because the players to get leverage. And I'm not blaming the players. I don't think anyone is blaming the players. But it is a very tough place to be as a CFL player because it's just been expected. You basically, what you give you you have to take because you don't have leverage. You can't just skip to another league. You can't just skip to the NFL. That is a small percentage. Therefore, be grateful for what you get. Well, that's a tough place to be as a player. And look, our guys are talented. Our guys are fabulous. I mean, they're great people. It's a league. You talk about the health of the city. To me, this is, the CFL, it's deep into my heart. I'm just afraid if you start taking preseason games away, we're going to get back to the kinds of football that I think really hurt them over the last couple of years, COVID being a big part of that. And I just don't know how long you can go with it. I hope there's a little bit of heart on the league side, on the team side, because I feel bad for the players because they don't probably get what they deserve, but it's a very dangerous place to be, so dangerous.
Nice work. Completely out of time. Thanks, Mike. Enjoy the hockey.
I will. Go Flames. Let's go.
See you next hour, everybody.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's lifeline.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Big time, big time, big time, big time.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Number 99, Wayne Gretzky, has chosen the Calgary Flames to win the series against the Edmonton. Did I see that right, or was I dreaming it again?
Did you see the Oilers Twitter account?
What'd they say?
Was the Oilers tweeted, "Ouch, Wayne," because he picked the Flames. I couldn't believe it.
Love Wayne Gretzky, no doubt. But I feel like somebody's putting Wayne up to these things.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hour 2 of the Rod Pedersen Show, coming to you from South Florida, and in short time, the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. Next week, by the way, we'll be broadcasting live from the Centennial Cup presented by Tim Hortons in the beautiful city of Estevan, Saskatchewan. I cannot wait for that. We're going to be talking about the Centennial Cup coming up here. Let's bring in the Moose, if you don't mind. And if you wonder what is... They're writing in that they're watching us in HD Moose in Manitoba on Bell MTS and Game Plus TV. I wonder if they can see the tears in my eyes and on my cheeks from the interview with Mike Richards at the tail end of Hour 1. Oh, my. That was some of his best stuff. Vintage Mike Richards.
I missed it. I was on the phone, and I hear the guys in my ear being like, "We're still on the floor laughing." I'm like, "Oh, no, I don't want to come on. I want to go back and watch the Mike Richards interview."
Jack Fulton writing in the comments on the screen. Mike Richards is rock star of the day for the rest of the month. Now, you got to kind of need to be a Calgary fan to appreciate what Mike just rattled off, but oh, my. He did a Steve Armitage impression, okay? As if he was opening the broadcast on CBC tonight.
So you're saying,
and I'm loving it.
Social feeds really soon. That'll be on our social feeds before long.
Probably should be. So what I love about this particular time of the show and time of the week is what I used to say on my old radio show. We had the liner from the big voice guy. If you're talking about it, we're talking about it. So whatever you people want to talk about, I'm game to talk about here. And earlier on, we discussed point 3 of our Quick 6 show topics was that Don Cherry said on a podcast this week that he and Ron MacLean will never be friends because Ron didn't back him when Don got fired at Sportsnet for his non-inclusive comments about immigrants to Canada not wearing pop. I'll only read this. Another comment from Jack in Vulcan, Alberta. He wrote in earlier on the 902 line, and he says, Rod, what's sad about the Don Cherry situation is he grew up in a totally different culture, so why does it fall on him? Why can't today's politically correct culture show Don a little understanding? Again, I'm not Don Cherry's publicist, PR guy, and I'm not a relation. But he was given the opportunity to apologize, explain the error of his ways, and he refused. So he really gave them no choice. And that's about all that I want to talk about anymore on that situation. We covered it last hour. I'm loving the Battle of Alberta talk. And Darren, I just called up. I was just surfing Twitter in the break. From CanadaNewsMedia.ca, there's a story here of what was going on in Alberta in 1991, the last time these two teams played. And I'm such a dolt and so old. I was in college in Calgary, 1991. Shocking that I blew my mind. I forgot that the Oilers and Flames were playing in the Battle of Alberta. Now, having said that, back then it wasn't a novelty. I didn't think it would be another 32 years, 32 seasons before they'd meet again. They used to meet every year of the Stanley Cup playoffs. They did back then. But there's interviews here with Al Dewar, the former mayor of Calgary. Where the heck is it? Yeah, Al Dewar, mayor of Calgary from 1989 to 2001, interviewing Mike Vernon about what he remembers from back then. They said the band Nirvana played their first ever Calgary show at some little club. It was just months before they released their album Smells Like Teen Spirit in 1991. What were you, Darren, 3 or 4 years old when this happened?
I would have been 4. I would have just turned 4 before the playoffs, yeah.
What do you remember about that playoff series then?
Probably sucking on my thumb and, I don't know what I was doing in 1991. I really don't.
Well, as your mom Paula would say, probably running around with a clipboard, snot bubbles running out of your nose.
Exactly.
Here's what else was going on in 1991. The Steven Seagal action flick Out for Justice topped the box office, having dethroned the previous title holder, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. That was going on.
How about that?
I love that. I love that kind of stuff. And I'm usually the one pointing this stuff out, but it's usually as it relates to things that, with us, like who was the premier of the province of Saskatchewan in 1991? I believe it was Grant Devine. Yeah, Roy Romano took over in 92. Prime Minister was Brian Mulroney. The President of the United States, somebody help me out. I think it was still Reagan. We're talking about a long time ago. What is it about? Do you enjoy the historical stuff as much as I do, or am I just pointing out my age here?
No, it reminds you of, the time and what everything was like. And, I was telling you about, watching old YouTube videos of Oilers and Flames in 97, and things like that. And you watch those broadcasts, it reminds you hear about who was president and prime minister, kind of puts you back into those, into that time of life.
George W. Bush was the president in the United States of America in 1991. I apologize, which I should have known because Desert Storm was going on then too. Now that I'm literally transporting my mind back in time to 1991, Desert Storm, which we thought was going to be World War III, and George Bush was on the air every night addressing the nation. The father of George W. Bush. George H. Bush was the president. George W. Bush was his son. So, yeah, I enjoy those historical perspectives, too. Stick with me. Bob Smith is watching in Maple Ridge, BC. He writes in and says, "Morning, RP. Good old Manitoba boy, Barry Trotz, was interviewed by the Winnipeg Jets yesterday. He was, and I spoke to his agent last night, who's a very close friend of mine. And all I will tell you about the Barry Trotz interview was, as the agent said, more to come." So I think he may end up as the head coach of the Vegas Golden Knights. Who knows? Brady watching Darren from the Bridge City. Haven't heard from him in a while. He says, "Hey, Rod, excited for the Battle of Alberta? Should be a slugfest. I'm rooting for the Avalanche. Wow, are they ever good? Warriors versus Mavs series should be entertaining." And Brady goes on to say, "Preseason week 1 of the CFL for the Riders will be in jeopardy today." Which reminds me, do we have any breaking news? Is there something there? I saw somebody was writing in earlier saying that we might know today on the status of the strike. Today being
that was the
Wednesday.
latest. Yeah, that was the latest from Naylor, and then a little bit from Farhan in the last hour or so, just surfing Twitter, that it's been quiet, but apparently talks are happening. So Naylor's expecting to hear news by the end of the day. Some people are expecting a deal to get done potentially by end of day Thursday. So again, not seeing any impact on Monday's game, not hearing a thing about, if the game is on, if it's not. So we'll continue to monitor that.
I will reiterate what I said in hour 1 here. And I'm hesitant to talk about it because I suspect this segment of the show is going to run in our weekend best of the Rod Pedersen Show on Access Television. And who knows, by the weekend, I would hope this will have been put to bed. But as I spoke to a CFL legend, another guy that I talked to yesterday, he goes, "I don't think the owners and leaders know what they're doing on this side, and I don't think the Players Association knows what it's doing either." The one thing he did say was back in 1974, if the commissioner was Jake Godar then, and I believe he was, that's going a long ways back for me too, but he said the commissioner back then would go back and forth between the two sides and bridge them together. The difference here is that the current CFL commissioners firmly planted his flag on the side of the owners. That seems like I don't even need to ask you. That's what it certainly seems. Not bridging the two sides compared to the old days. John Kirby, watching in Edmonton, writes in and says on the 902 text line, "The Arizona Coyotes will not be permitted to use their own logo at center ice this coming season. All in-ice advertising will be a revenue source for Arizona State University, and so the Coyotes aren't allowed to modify the look of the ice surface." He wrote in earlier and asked what our thoughts are on that. And I will only address it because I know what a big deal it is, for whatever reason, to Canadians, what's going on in Arizona. I don't even care. And they were my favorite team for a period of time. But anyways, you need, John and anybody else, to understand how these things work. It's Arizona State's rink, Arizona State University. They own the rink. And they're just allowing the Coyotes to come play there for a couple of years. And heaven only knows how that's going to turn out, this grease fire, because it's an open-ended deal from what I can tell. Darren, it comes down to egos, and as we said last hour on the TV, contracts. It's Arizona State University's rink. Of course they're going to have their logo at center ice. Who owns the rink? ASU. Okay, you put your logos on the ice. I would have to think you agree with that.
I could completely. Can't agree with it. That's the way it is. There is no opinion there. That is the way it is. And for the Coyotes, look I think I'm kind of on an island here a little bit with this Arizona situation in Phoenix, but the Coyotes should be okay with that. They shouldn't be upset. This isn't their rink. They're trying here to get a new facility, so they're going into the university rink, and they're trying to drum up some excitement. Smaller rink, limited tickets. They're trying to create demand. So whatever it takes to get in the building and be successful in all of that, great. You can hologram logos onto the center ice during the warm-up when the lights go down, and they'll do all kinds of removable banners to make it feel like a Coyotes game, I hope. But, this is all part of it for the Coyotes organization if they're going to have any chance of owning the market.
1:11 Eastern, 1:11 Eastern, 11:11 Mountain. Just pointing that out. Sorry to interrupt you because I know it's rude to do that, Darren, but I thought it was important to put it in there.
Well, it was important. And look at what we were talking about. So it's all going to work out for the Coyotes, I think.
Well, depending what your definition of working out is. Darren Workman, watching in Salt Lake City, Utah, says the Coyotes will be allowed to use their logo all they want when they're in Houston. Hey, look, I have no idea. Do you want to go back to egos and contracts and so forth? I don't. Look, they're moving into this rink at ASU. They don't know where they're going afterwards. This is what people don't seem to understand. And why, by the way, am I still talking about it? Because people clearly aren't listening. I said in Calgary, when the Flames moved from Atlanta, they played in the Corral for 3, maybe 4 years, but the Saddle Dome was being built across the parking lot. They saw the tangible evidence of where they were going. In Arizona, they don't have a deal for a new rink. They don't have a location. Nothing. And now I think the only reason that the Coyotes are staying in Arizona is because of Gary Bettman's ego. He might have a large one, Darren. That's my sense. Like, they are the Toronto Argonauts of the NHL. They're that, well, except that they don't win. The Argos were the second best team in the CFL last year, as you know, or third best, I guess. Coyotes are the worst team, certainly in the West Conference. They average less than the Pats for attendance, and now they're homeless. But they won't move them. And they tell me the only reason is because of the 7 million people in the Valley, that the TV market, but nobody watches them anyways. You want to explain that one to me?
I know, it's just literally that television audience. We can't leave this market, this potential TV audience, because we really want to crack it. Well, if the team always sucks and the team doesn't have a good reputation, which is what I consider brand, then people aren't going to watch anyway. But it's the potential. So it's like the CFL not wanting to be out of Toronto because, well, when we get that market going, the TV audience is going to take us off. Well, when's that going to happen? You know, this is an opportunity, but to me, this feels like a last effort in Arizona.
This is so funny. David Ice in Winnipeg has been with us all day long, and he says, please let us die, Coyotes. Bettman, no, I love you. Like, please let us die with some dignity. Right? No, I can't. Just can't do that. It's for my benefit.
Just unplug the cord.
That's what I'm saying.
Cord.
No.
Yeah.
No, we're going to make this work. Damn it. Nelson, our VP of Sim Events, says when the Tiger Cats and Argos played in Guelph, they didn't get a field logo. Same deal. So, John in Edmonton, I appreciate you bringing up the question, but this is how it worked. It again is called the Golden Rule. He who owns the gold makes rules. David in Winnipeg says 11,601 average attendance for the Coyotes this season. That's what they say. Darren, I feel like I'm going to play the headphone off, turn the mic off, and just walk away. Because no, Rod, there's like 11,000. No, there's not. Watch the games. And I've often said this, when they announce paid attendance, which I don't even believe that, but when they announce the junior teams and whatever teams that do it, they say, let's say the Argos announce 15,000, but there's only 10,000 in the facility. That's 5,000 that say, well, buy tickets, but I don't even want to come watch you. That's worse. When you can actually see there's half as many people in the facility as they announce, it's worse. It's worse. Here's my money. Take the donation. I don't even want to come watch you. That's what I've always said about that. Don't you feel the same way?
I feel exactly the same way. And, you know, on the nitpicking of numbers, I mean, yeah, technically they probably sell more tickets than the Regina Pats do, technically. But that's not the point you're trying to make. It's not the point. It's like the one sports team in Saskatchewan. Well, no, there's more than one pro sports team in Saskatchewan, but not the point we're trying to make here. There really is only one people talk about, and they really don't have as much interest as the Regina Pats do. So I get that. Like,
I had a buddy.
11,000 people. I don't think there's seen one photo with 11,000 people in that arena.
No, I had a buddy send me a photo from a game he was at just within the last month, maybe 6 weeks. Empty arena. He goes, Gunner, is his nickname. And he says the Pats draw more. So you can say whatever you want was there. As a matter of fact, I might go look up what they said what the attendance was. We're going to break and come back with more, and we'll talk a little bit about Battle of Alberta Game 1 tonight. We haven't even mentioned Rangers at Carolina tonight. A little more of what went down here in Sunrise, Florida last night, and can the Panthers come back in this series? See if there's any developments on the CFL strike. We'll be right back. It's hour 2 of the RP Show. You were watching on Game Plus TV, live streaming on YouTube and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital GMC. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a GM certified pre-owned vehicle that's on our lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital GMC. Your adventure starts here.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services, and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
And nice look in on the Florida Keys. That is the set of Bloodline and Moorhead House. How about that? Welcome back to the RP Show, everybody. Yeah, baby. Hey, by the way, Jeff Foxworthy bringing his brand new The Good Old Days tour to Calgary this Saturday night. Largest selling comedy recording artist in history, a multiple Grammy Award nominee, and best-selling author of more than 26 books. I haven't heard that it's sold out. I'd be shocked if it isn't. Scramble to Ticketmaster now, ticketmaster.ca. It's a night off in the Battle of Alberta Saturday night, so if you want to go see Jeff Foxworthy, now's your chance, ticketmaster.ca at Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Let us bring the Moose back in. You see the text line number on the screen, 902-518-3033. Moose, if you don't mind, I don't know what made me think of it, but I got to give you kudos for the Netflix series, or Apple TV series, We Crashed. I'm obsessed. Man, I don't really get into these series as much, but man, is that a good one. What else are you streaming now? Drive to Survive kind of just fell off the path. Can't remember the last time we watched that.
Yeah.
We Crashed. What a great show.
Isn't it good? We Crashed. Yeah, amazing. You said you tried watching the one Inventing Anna on Netflix. That was the one I got into. To me, it reminded me a lot of The Queen's Gambit, if you remember that one. And if you enjoyed it,
this one was a little weird.
Yeah, this is a little bit like that, limited series. So I enjoyed that. But We Crashed is the one I'm into right now. And there's a funny sitcom series that I just found. I'd watched it before. It's on Disney Plus, if you have that. But it's called Last Man Standing. It's the one with Tim Allen. I might have told you about it. It's got about 8 seasons. It's actually a pretty funny show, and I think you'd like it.
You told me about it. Haven't checked it out. Will do. By the way, John Kirby in Edmonton, our fact checker today, writes in and says, lots of tickets available for Jeff Foxworthy in Calgary. Well, I can tell you this. If I was in the area, I would be going. I guess, is that this Saturday? What's today's date? The 18th. Oh, it's a week from Saturday. Okay, that makes sense. More of a last-minute town. A week from Saturday, the night before the Centennial Cup final. Where is it here? Wayne in Victoria, BC, regarding the Panthers-Lightning series. He says, I originally thought that Florida would win the series in 7, but after seeing last night's game, I think Tampa Bay will win now because of Vasilevsky. Oh, gosh, I know. I saw the big blaring headline from Craig Button that Vasilevsky is the best goalie in the NHL, and he is. I'll say this about last night's game. If you saw, Darren, I was watching I went down to visit Thad for a while in his seats, but then I got kicked out because it was 19,656 there. There were no empty seats. So some guy's like, you're in my seat, bub. I'm like, okay. You see me videoing Kyle Bukakis from the backside with the smoke machine. That's on our Instagram story at the Rod Pedersen Show. What did you think about that, Moose?
I thought that was pretty funny. They got the smoke machine going. He's trying to do his sit. He's waving the smoke around. It's like they're trying to kill Kyle Bukakis. It's like, so it is. It's entertaining because it's a nice live. It's like a backstage pass to look around the arena on a game day. I think that's pretty cool.
Go to Rod Pedersen Official on Instagram and The Rod Pedersen Show. You'll get behind-the-scenes access to last night's Panthers-Lightning game. But I'm telling you, Kyle Bukakis, which, again, I'm sitting with Americans, okay? It's another world from what we're used to in Canadians. Like, they're looking at Bukakis, and one of the people in the group I was with goes, what is he, 10? And I'm like, no, I know, but he's had the job for like 10 years, so I don't know. But he's very good. There's no doubt about that. But it looked like an episode or a scene from Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke, where they're rolling down the freeway in L.A. with smoke coming out the windows. That's what it looked like last night. But anyways, back to the game. I watched it for a bit with Thad, and then I went up to the press box, and I'm watching this, and I'm like, Florida's all over Tampa Bay right now. At that time, they were out shooting them like 19-12 or something like that. They were getting all kinds of chances. And they are statistically the better team. They play in the same division. They beat them 8-1 in the building earlier on this year. Granted, the Lightning were missing a bunch of players due to COVID, but whatever. It's still the NHL and pro teams. And it was Vasilevsky that held the Lightning in it until they decided to wake up. And then they were the Tampa Bay Lightning. And that's why goaltending is so important. And I believe he is the best goalie in the NHL. I really do. I've seen him enough. But Bob wasn't bad. If you switch goalies last night, Florida wins that game. Vasilevsky was the first star for a reason. And actually, I was thinking this driving home, listening to the Panthers postgame show on the radio. Darren, if you knew going into the game, if you're the Panthers and somebody told you, when this is all over, Vasilevsky's going to be first star, you wouldn't feel very good about it, would you?
No, of course not. You'd feel pretty bad. And you know what? I thought Bob played well, and I thought they were in that game. They were all over Tampa, dominating the game, if you will, until the Kucherov play when he set up Corey Perry. He made that move, danced around, and slipped it over to Perry. And you could see in Bob's eyes and his body language, it was basically a tap-in because the move and the pass was so good. It's like, oh my God, what do I got to do now? And that seemed like a real backbreaker for the Florida Panthers last night.
Well, it didn't help, but I saw people laughing at Aaron Ekblad on Twitter for being deked out of his shorts. But Kucherov's one of the best players in the world. And I know Ekblad is too, a former number 1 overall pick. But nobody could defend that. Nobody. And we're going to find, this is why I love the Stanley Cup playoffs. We're going to find out what the Florida Panthers are made of. And they learned a tough lesson last year, losing in 7 to this very same Tampa Bay team who went on to win the Stanley Cup. Did you learn your lesson then? Or are you learning your lesson now? You can't make mistakes. And Kucherov, you got to watch, or Kucherov, you got to watch out for this guy. Take him right here. Like the other night, again, somebody was talking about, it's guy in Winnipeg. Where is he? 902 text line here. My bad, Darren. It was something, where did it come in? He said that Florida was struggling for attendance through the last several years. Yeah, well, they suck. Try winning. And by the way, that goes back to the Arizona thing, because you know that I was spending a ton of time there because my buddy owned the team. And I'm sitting in the crowd, and the Americans are saying to me, born and raised Phoenicians, that's what they call themselves, people from Phoenix, born and raised, they said, we'd go to the games more if the team hadn't sucked for so long. They haven't made the playoffs in 8 years. So here in Florida, they get mad at I said this yesterday, didn't I? They get mad at a missed penalty or a botched hybrid icing call, or they know the game. They've had it here since 1993. They just don't live and breathe it. If and when the Panthers lose out, they'll go on the next day and not even think about it. So yes, the Panthers struggled in attendance, but they were terrible. Ward in Winnipeg, watching on Game Plus, he says Bettman will die on the Coyotes' hill before he lets them leave. How much money over the years has helped them, Rod? Oh, my God. I'll tell you a funny story. We're sitting there. You've heard this story, but I'll tell it for the benefit of our viewers. We're sitting there having lunch at one of those bars and restaurants across from the rink in Glendale, Arizona. And I'm with Gary Drummond and Anthony LeBlanc and all the owners of the. And Drummond at that time owned a portion of the Pat. So he goes, we're going to lose $500,000 this year. And I said, the Coyotes? He's like, no, the Pat. We're going to lose $50 million with the Coyotes this year. That was just in 1 year. $50 million. Do the math on that. And then he got out. Right? I think I don't care how much money you have. I don't think you can lose $50 million a year. Like hundreds of millions of dollars have been bled on that franchise in Arizona. I don't get it. Do you?
It's potential, and they'll keep shoveling money into potential. And at some point,
you know how I feel about that word. You know how I feel about that word.
I know. And at some point, they have to realize this potential is not turning into opportunity, right? Because there's a difference between opportunity and potential. And it hasn't turned into an opportunity yet. I don't know if it ever will.
How did I get sucked down this rabbit hole of talking about the Arizona Coyotes on a day where the Battle of Alberta plays Game 1? Phil Thompson, watching in Dauphin, Manitoba on Game Plus TV, writes in and says it's Hump Day, Battle of Alberta Day. As much as I like the Oilers, I feel the Flames could take it in 5. I can't wait for the Centennial Cup. Been to a few Dauphin Kings games during the playoffs, and for an arena that holds just over 1,800 people, I've seen more people at these games than I see at a Coyotes game. Hashtag Dauphin Kings. Well, I don't want this to turn into a Coyotes roast either. Not to upset the PETA people. But I will say one thing on this Flames-Oilers series. I'm waiting for the real Mike Smith to show up. I'm waiting for the real Mike Smith to show up. And Darren, I wanted to mention this because we will be in Estevan, Saskatchewan for the Centennial Cup presented by Tim Hortons. It begins on Thursday, everybody. Wakey, wakey. Triple header on Thursday, noon Mountain at Affinity Place. I wrote it down. Pickering versus Red Lake, 12 p.m. Mountain. You can watch all the games at hockeycanada.ca. Then at 4 p.m. Mountain, it is Sioux versus Flin Flon. I think it's the Sioux Warriors versus Flin Flon. And then at 7:30 p.m., it's the Brooks Bandits versus Longueuil, Quebec. And there's a wonderful preview running at rodpedersen.com right now, penned by the Elliot Friedman of the SJHL, Jamie Neugebauer, with a paragraph on each team. We've only got nothing but the best working on our staff, behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, on the side of the scenes, and that includes Jamie Neugebauer, who did a paragraph on each team. He ranked them. He's got Brooks as the number one team going into the Centennial Cup presented by Tim Hortons. And I can't wait. I'm not joking when I say, oh, the hockey people, the fans, when are you getting in? Where are you staying? What do you think of this? Blah, blah, blah. My heart flutters when I think about what's ahead in this Centennial Cup. Your take on the field and what we're about to take part in.
I was in that arena in Brooks, and the banners they have up there hanging for championships, division titles, just in the last decade. It's like every year that team, just all they do is win in Brooks. They'll be very good. So it'll be interesting to see how they play. And then obviously when you get towards Friday and Saturday and Estevan gets on the ice, that place will be rocking. So I can't wait to get there. And I know we'll be spending all day at the rink, man. It's going to be great.
Is it true that we're going to be able to pick the 3 stars?
We might be able to. We're in discussions, in negotiations.
Wow. I like it. I'm all for it.
I like
okay,
it.
Moose, we'll see you back here for overtime.
Okay, you betcha.
Sportsnet's Arash Madani joins us next for a Blue Jays update, maybe a little CFL strike talk. That's next. Stick around. You're watching the RP Show on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube live streaming, and if you've missed any of the show, you can always catch the podcast wherever the best podcasts are found, including Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now. You gotta subscribe. Click the subscribe button for all the content you may have missed.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpedersenshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. dress just like we wear on the show. Official RP Show gear at rodpedersenshop.com.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Beautiful day here in South Florida. Heat winning last night, but the Panthers losing. I guess you call it a 50-50 night. By the way, for the second time this hour, we're going to tell you that Jeff Foxworthy coming to Grey Eagle Resort and Casino Saturday night, May 28th. The largest selling comedy recording artist in history, a multiple Grammy Award nominee, and best-selling author of more than 26 books, brings his brand new The Good Old Days comedy tour to Calgary next Saturday, May 28th. Tickets are available now at Ticketmaster.ca. Probably some tickets available tonight for the Blue Jays and Mariners as the Jays go for the sweep. Joining us to talk about it, Sportsnet's Arash Madani. And if I saw this correctly, Arash, and by the way, sir, it's been far too long. Jays attendance up 59%, leading the majors. That was before this week's homestand against the Mariners. But how are we on the Bluebirds this week?
Well, this is what they needed, Rod. I mean, they just went on a road trip where they were just dreadful. They couldn't hit. Their bullpen at times started to fall apart, and their starting pitching was a bit of an adventure, and they couldn't hit. Did I mention that already? But then they come home, they get these two with the Mariners, and now Cincinnati is coming to town this weekend, and the Reds are absolutely dreadful. So the offense still hasn't gotten going. I mean, it's funny. It feels that outside of George Springer, their next most productive hitter is Santiago Espinal. Who would have thought that? So the roof is now open. That's the other thing. So I think attendance is going to, continue to spike here. But once the summer rolls around, I was actually looking into tickets for some friends for this summer, and some are hard to find. Some games are already hard to find, and it's the 18th of May. So that's the story.
Well, like I said, I saw attendance up 59%, leading the majors. I almost, Bud, texted you, almost, on this road trip and just said, should we be concerned? But I always hated when people texted me when I was on the rider beat for 20 years. So I refrained. But if you're telling me that they can't hit with this lineup, then that tells me that it's just a little bit of a swoon because they're way more powerful than what they've shown over the last, before the Seattle series.
Yeah, you have to think so. At some point, track record has got to take over. Teoscar Hernandez is a two-time reigning Silver Slugger Award winner. He hasn't gotten going since coming back off the injured list. Once he does, that is huge because at some point, they're going to have to pitch to somebody. And right now, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is not getting any pitches to hit. So if Teoscar gets going, if Bichette gets a little more consistency, if Chapman's bat starts to go, then that opens things up for Vlad, which is a big part of all this as I try and dodge this light behind me. So that's a significant piece to this whole equation because Vlad hit 3 home runs, Rod, last month at Yankee Stadium. And since, nobody's giving him much to hit in the zone. And when there's not much protection behind him or in front of him, that's going to continue. If that changes, look out.
For sure, but you talk about the road trip. Swept in New York in 2 games. Did we really see the Yankees being this good? And are they going to be able to keep the pedal to the metal at this clip the rest of the way?
Yeah, and that did I see it coming? No. Did I see the bullpen being this dominant? Not a chance. And pedal to the metal is actually a really good analogy here because, Roddy, they are going full throttle here in May. And that's going to be interesting to see how sustainable this can be. I mean, Aaron Judge has bet on himself. I didn't see this coming at all. This guy is mashing all over the place. So can this continue with a 36-year-old Josh Donaldson, with Giancarlo Stanton, who spends almost, it feels, as much time on the injured list as he's not, with question marks behind the plate? So far, so good. But, I think this is important to remember. There's 120 or so games to go. There's a lot of baseball left. It was around this time in 2019, the Nationals were 12 games below 500, and they went on to win the World Series that year. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen to a team that's scuffling right now, but, Sparky Anderson would always say, get to the end of May, be 500 after 60 games, be healthy after 60 games, and with 100 games left, that's when the season really starts. So let's see where the chips fall once things really get going.
Well, I keep checking my score app and seeing them losing, and I'm like, but in my mind, I see your face going, "It's May, it's May." I see your face in my okay. Arash says it's May, so I'll just calm down. Hey, I never talked to DuPont about this earlier, the resident Leafs fan, along with Clark, but I'll put it to you. The Brain Trust says yesterday, no changes. Your take on this Leafs season, and did you think there should be? Your take on it all and what came out of Scotiabank Arena yesterday, if you don't mind.
I actually filled in for McAuliffe yesterday on Tim and Friends, Rod, and I had quite a commentary on the state of affairs. You lose 6 straight times in the first round. You lose over and over again the first round. And nothing is going to be different. Nothing's different. They're going to bring back the same team president, the same GM, the same coach, and the same core of players. Now, how does that make sense?
Whoops.
Yeah. It's actually amazing that through all this, Roddy, it almost feels like the way that Dubas and Shanahan spoke yesterday, we're so close. We're so close. We didn't lose as badly this year as we have in other years. The benchmark, these people seem to think, is getting through the first round. It is so puzzling. It's bizarre. It's baffling. It's actually bordering on pure delusion that they feel doing the same thing, running the whole thing back, bringing the same cast of characters again, is going to make all the difference. And the reality is that it's not, because it's proven that it's not. You often talk about track record and precedent and the rest. I have a hard time believing that MLSE is going to continue with this, but I just don't know who Brendan Shanahan reports to anymore. I don't know who's in charge anymore, but they just feel that what they're doing is going to work, and yet every spring it doesn't work.
Can I ask you this, just as a outsider of that market? Is there anybody in that office that goes, well, it worked with the Raptors? Now, Masai Ujiri isn't running the Toronto Maple Leafs, but is there any of that thinking? Hey, we did it with the NBA team, we can do it with the NHL team. You ever hear anything like that coming out of there?
Well, if you're going to go down that road, a few things. One, let's remember they win in 2019, right? 2016, that's a Raptor team that got to the conference finals. They took LeBron and the Cavs. Well, LeBron and the Cavs allowed them to go 6 games in 2016. So it's not just getting out of the first round that was the issue. And then again and again, LeBron and the Cavs knocked them out. So what happened after the 2018 playoffs, Rod? Major shakeup. Dwayne Casey out. DeMar DeRozan traded.
Ooh.
A first-round pick, from the year before, along with DeMar, and they went for it. Say whatever you will about Kawhi Leonard being a lottery ticket, but it paid off. There was a major shakeup that led to the championship. They added Marc Gasol at the deadline. They went for it. They did something different. This Maple Leafs team is just saying, we're going to do the same thing again.
Wow.
There are a lot of people that are saying, okay, well, you got to walk before you run and you got to, pay your dues to get the breakthrough to finally get a championship. I believe all of that. But the Washington Capitals, before they had their breakthrough, would almost always get through the first round. The Boston Bruins, before Zdeno Chara finally lifted the cup, would always get through the first round. This is a team that can't even do that. It's almost like they believe there's a Stanley Cup waiting for them after they get through the opening round of the playoffs.
Very, very interesting parallel with the Raptors and what happened there. I'm glad I asked. Never thought about it that way. Lastly, we got about a minute to 90 seconds. The CFL fans want to know your thoughts on the strike and where it's going.
I'm assuming it's going to be over soon. I've seen the same reports everybody else has. Rod, if this is how Randy Ambrosie and the league governors want to be partners with the league, what if they didn't? What if they didn't? If you want to be partners with somebody, do you really begin bargaining a few weeks before camp? Do you really offer a 10-year CBA, make a 10-year CBA offer without any increases? You really want to be partners and say player safety is important to us, but padded practices are mandatory? You really want to be partners, but you cut off talks? It just feels like there are boilerplate statements that Randy just sticks to that have been fed to him by his communication staff, and those are what he relies on. Let's remember, Ambrosie went in front of the House of Commons Finance Committee basically 2 years ago today, asked for $150 million from the federal government and said, we want to be partners with you. Well, if this is the way he's going to be partners with the players, I think the big winner here are Canadian taxpayers, because this is the way the league wants to be in business with their partners. How much of that loan do you think the CFL was going to be paying back?
I didn't have any money to pay it back, exactly. Well, yes, we will cover them when they get back on the field, but a lot of the problems will remain. But for the players' sake, I hope it's as fair as it can be and play ball. This has been a wonderful update, Arash. Thanks for this, and keep up the great work, my man.
You got, and if you see Randorf again in one of those games, give him my best, will you?
I absolutely will.
Give him hell for me, too, by the way.
For?
Give him hell for me, too.
Oh, I thought there was something specific that you wanted me to give him hell for. No. Okay, yeah, I will, yeah. We had a great chat last night. Thank you, man. Sportsnet's Arash Madani with us from the T-Dot. Overtime is next, and viewer takeover. Moose Dupont will join us for that. You're watching the RP Show live from South Florida on the Game Plus TV network, YouTube Live, and 24-hour sports radio at rodpedersen.com.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop.
Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. And big time, big time, big time, big time.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. EDG, always delivering the best fan experience.
A legend throws 713 yards in a single pro football game.
A legend wins 3 Grey Cup MVP awards.
Allen looking deep. A legend scores 1,209 points in 1,127 NHL games. Play among legends at betregal.net.
Are you ready? It's finally time for your next adventure, and it starts at Capital Ford. Custom order the perfect new vehicle for you, or reserve one of the hundreds that's already built and on its way. Can't wait? Get into a pre-owned vehicle that's already on the lot and ready to rock. Plus, the American Export event is back and bigger than ever. We'll send your vehicle south, making you the most money for your trade. Guaranteed. Oh, and for a limited time, all name brand tires are employee priced. Only at Capital Ford Lincoln. Your adventure starts here.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
Here we go. It is overtime. A proud presentation of the Four Seasons Sports Palace. Your home for the Stanley Cup Playoffs and the UFC. Tonight, it is 7:30 Mountain, 9:30 Eastern. Game 1 right there at the Saddle Dome. Flames and Oilers. And, of course, the other game that nobody cares about, it is the Carolina Hurricanes home to the New York Rangers. Let's bring in the Moose for overtime. Darren Moose Dupont. By the way, overtime also the viewer takeovers for Taco Time, Darren. Taco Time has sent us the note they want us to say to the viewers. They're not tater tots, okay? They're Mexi fries. And to be honest, I'm not sure I can go along with that. Have we ever seen them in the same room before? Tater tots and Mexi fries? You know what I'm saying?
That's a great question. Great question.
Nah.
We got some investigative journalism to do next time when you come to Calgary.
You wouldn't be pulling my leg, would you? Taco Time? No, I get it. Tater tots are just a little less greasy. Sorry, Mexi fries are less greasy than tater tots. Would you agree?
I didn't want to spoil it, but when you get in on Saturday, my plan was to swing you by the Taco Time drive-through for our to fuel up for our trip to Estevan. So we'll be low.
There's one on the way. I love it. I love it. I apologize to Alex watching, or actually operating this show at Game Plus TV in Toronto. Alex Fulton has written in on the 902 line. He had a question for Arash. He said, hey, Roddy, question for Arash. What does he think of the defense so far? Looks a little shaky at times. I'm sorry, Alex. We'll put it to, I'll get your question in the next time Arash is with us. But they shut out Seattle last night 3-0. They go for the sweep tonight. It can't be that bad. If the Blue Jays' bats are silent and that's the problem right now, that's just a slumpy thing. They'll be back.
Yeah.
Rob Tyson watching in Cold Lake, Alberta regarding the Leafs. He says, don't cling. He says, quote of the day, don't cling to a mistake just because you spent a lot of time making it. Author unknown. Interesting take from Arash, particularly for a guy that works at the network that carries the games and says this is the definition of insanity. He didn't say that, but I'll say it. Doing the same thing over and over and over again. That's the first person that I've seen not go along with what the Leafs are doing. How did you feel about Arash's take on that?
You know, it's funny because when you try something and it doesn't work, and now the Leafs are committing to doing the same thing again, basically saying we're going to bring the same group back. We're not going to change anything outside from a piece here and a piece there. Coach, GM, it's all coming back. I get that. But I think when you look at the Leafs as a team over the last 20 years, what they've done is always try and blame the problem on something that they can fix and not look in the mirror. It was the coach's fault, Babcock said. It was this guy's fault, out. GM's fault, out. This player, fault, trade him, right? And always blame it on something else. I think they need to look in the mirror and say, look, at the problem, as you mentioned, Rod, is in here, heart. So we've all got the right pieces. We, together as a group, need to fix it. So I'd like to see them try that. Stick with the group.
It's really amazing, the parallel with the Raptors, because they are in the exact same offices in the same building as the Leafs. But the difference is Masai Ujiri, a president who's got a stiff upper lip, and some chutzpah. Last minute of play in the RP show. Last minute of play. He said, Dwayne Casey, gotta go. Right? Kawhi Leonard, we gotta have him. The trade for DeMar DeRozan, statistically the greatest Raptor ever, although some will say Kyle Lowry, and I get it. It's a delicate sword, and that's why I think those jobs pay so much, because those are big decisions, right? And so if Masai Ujiri just knew hockey, we wouldn't have a problem. Jennifer from the Four Seasons, she says, guts are in knots, heart rate is already elevated, and puck drop isn't for another 7.5 hours. Go Oilers. Woo. Mark and Melfort, Randy Ambrosi needs to quit as CFL commissioner. Can't see that happening. Should be an interesting day tomorrow. Lots to discuss. Moose, enjoy the games. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Game Plus. Who has more fun than us?
How about that? Bob's your uncle. Hot take. Spicy.